Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your betting game by hitting that subscribe button and ensure you never miss out on our daily content. Want exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join our Patreon. Links are waiting for you in the comment section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. Utah Jazz versus San Antonio Spurs. The Utah Jazz and San Antonio Spurs are set to face off again after their previous meeting on Halloween, which saw the Spurs secure a 106-88 victory as 2-point road favorites. Despite a sluggish start, with San Antonio scoring just 19 points in the first quarter, the Spurs cruised to a near 20-point win. Even with a shooting performance of just 41.3%, San Antonio dominated the game. The Jazz, despite winning the rebounding battle 53-42, were unable to capitalize. In terms of player availability, both teams are relatively healthy, with Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen returning for Utah in their most recent game. However, Clarkson struggled against the Spurs in the last meeting, contributing only 3 points, which may not significantly impact the outcome here. Victor Wembanyama led the Spurs with a stellar all-around performance, recording 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks. Although Utah won 2 of the 3 meetings against San Antonio last season, it's unlikely they'll replicate that success this time around. The Spurs have covered the spread in 6 of their last 10 games against the Jazz. Prediction: San Antonio minus 4.5 points. In their previous matchup, the combined total of 194 points fell well short of the 220-point over/under for this game. Both teams rank in the bottom third of the league in possessions per game, Utah at 21st, 102.2, and San Antonio at 29th, 98.1, indicating a slower pace of play. San Antonio's 118-point performance on Thursday marked their highest scoring output of the season, but they have failed to break 110 points in 7 games this year. Meanwhile, the Jazz have scored 100 or fewer points in 4 of their last 5 games. The under has hit in 6 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Prediction: under 226.5 points. Brooklyn Nets versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The Brooklyn Nets enter this season under the direction of first-year coach Jordi Fernandez with modest expectations. Having traded away several key players in recent years, the Nets are focusing on the future, armed with 10 first-round picks over the next 4 seasons. This long-term strategy is reflected in their betting odds, as they currently have the longest odds to win the NBA title, at plus 100,000, tied with 8 other teams. On the other hand, the Cleveland Cavaliers are riding high with a scorching 10-0 start to the season, showcasing impressive victories over teams like the Magic, 120-109, Bucks, 114-113, 116-114, Pelicans, 131-122, and Warriors, 136-117. Despite their strong record, the market has not fully bought into the Cavaliers, as they're still priced with the 10th shortest odds to win the title at plus 2,000. However, this matchup could present a potential letdown for Cleveland, as they come off a high-profile win against the Warriors on Friday. With a game on the second night of a back-to-back, the Cavaliers might take their foot off the gas. Meanwhile, the Nets showed resilience in a narrow 108-104 overtime loss to the Celtics on Friday, despite being 13.5-point underdogs. Given the similar spread in this game, expect Brooklyn to keep it competitive once again. Prediction: Brooklyn Nets plus 13 points. Offensively, Cleveland leads the league, scoring 120.9 points per 100 possessions, while Brooklyn is also solid, ranking 13th with 111.3. Both teams are pushing the tempo, averaging over 100 possessions per game. Cleveland ranks 8th at 102.7, and Brooklyn sits at 19th with 100.5. With both teams on the second night of a back-to-back, expect defensive lapses, which should create opportunities for both sides to rack up points. Given their offensive firepower and the fatigue factor, the total could easily go over. Prediction: over 223 points. Chicago Bulls versus Atlanta Hawks. The Chicago Bulls limp into Atlanta on Saturday night with a banged-up roster and a losing record. The Bulls come in at 3-6 after losing at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves on Thursday night, 135 to 119. The Bulls jumped out to a 12-point lead in the first half thanks to 10 of 17 shooting from three-point range, but struggled the rest of the way, going just 5 of 19 from long range in the second half. The loss was the fourth straight for the Bulls. They were led by center Nikola Vucevic, who had 25 points on 11 of 15 shooting. Kobe White chipped in with 24 points to go along with 8 assists. The Bulls allowed the Wolves to shoot over 70% in the fourth quarter as they watched their lead disappear. The Atlanta Hawks find themselves atop the Southeast Division thus far despite not playing consistent basketball. The Hawks reworked their roster in the offseason, departing with guard Dejounte Murray and deciding to lean on guard Trae Young more to help their young roster develop. The Hawks have won 2 of 3 games entering their Friday night matchup with the Detroit Pistons on the road. On Wednesday, the Hawks outlasted the Knicks 121 to 116 at home. The NBA's number 1 overall pick, Zachary Rizicher, scored a career-high 33 points and grabbed 7 rebounds in the win. Jalen Johnson and Young each had double-doubles, with Johnson getting 23 points and 15 rebounds and Young chipping in with 23 points and 10 assists. The Hawks have struggled on the defensive end this season, but should thrive offensively against a Chicago team that has allowed 120 points in 3 of its last 4 games, including 135 points twice in that span. The Bulls' lineup is still uncertain with Ball out and Levine questionable. The Hawks have won 2 of 3 games heading into Friday night's game against the Pistons and have scored over 120 points in each win. I'm sticking with the Hawks on Saturday night given the uncertainty of the Bulls' lineup and Young's ability to take advantage of what has been a porous Bulls defense as of late. My team pick is Hawks to win, and my total pick is over. Toronto Raptors versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Toronto Raptors recently suffered a 122 to 107 loss to the Sacramento Kings, despite shooting 48.9% from the field. The Raptors struggled from beyond the arc, connecting on only 29.4% of their three-pointers. R.J. Barrett led the team with 23 points, while Davion Mitchell added 20 points and a team-high 6 assists. Chris Boucher contributed 17 points off the bench, and Jacob Poeltl posted 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. However, Toronto was out-rebounded by 13 and allowed the Kings to attempt 17 more free throws. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Clippers extended their winning streak to 3 games with a 107-98 victory over the Kings. Los Angeles shot 44.4% from the field and drained 14 three-pointers, while also holding the Kings to a dismal 3-26 from beyond the arc. The Clippers dominated the boards, out-rebounding Sacramento by 13. Norman Powell had a standout performance, recording 31 points and 12 rebounds, while James Harden contributed 22 points and 8 assists. Ivica Zubac also had a strong showing, with 13 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists. Despite playing on the second night of a back-to-back, the Clippers are the superior team in this matchup. Their defensive prowess will limit the Raptors' scoring opportunities, especially from 3, and their big 3, Harden, Zubac, and Powell, will lead the offense to victory. The Clippers have the experience and depth to dominate the game, and the Raptors will struggle to keep up. Prediction: Los Angeles Clippers minus 7.5 points. Defensively, the Raptors have had trouble containing opponents in the paint, an area where the Clippers excel. Los Angeles ranks 4th in the league in limiting points in the paint, and Toronto's defensive struggles are expected to continue. While the Raptors prefer a fast-paced game, the Clippers will dictate the tempo and slow things down, playing into their strength. Given these factors, the total is expected to fall short. Prediction: under 226.5 points.